Hello, everyone. It's a privilege to be here in Iraqi Kurdistan, a country with a very rich past and a very powerful future. Let me talk and introduce a little bit myself. I'm currently at the Ankara Bureau Chief of Daily Sabah newspaper in Turkey. It's a leading English newspaper. I've been doing journalism for about 10 years now, mainly in the Turkish capital Ankara, following institutions focusing on diplomacy and security issues, but also very often on the field in conflict areas such as Syria, Karabakh, and other regions. So here we will a little bit navigate with my experiences and the topic we have here. To speak about myself, I've been born in Germany. I'm a dual citizen, a Turkish-German citizen, so I know very well the conflicts and crises that dual identities actually bring. Having been raised as a Turkish national in Germany, I've very much encountered the stereotypes that you face, especially in traditional media during my childhood, of how the Turkish people in Germany were seen as the other there. So I have been witnessing this crisis there, and after moving to Turkey about 10 years ago, again, I could feel that I was, again, very different from the people that I've been living with. So identity is a very complex issue, I can say. And today, I want not to be here as a lecturer, but I want us to be brainstorming all together and think about what this question means, how it affects your life, and how you have encountered this problem so far. So let's begin. Our title is The Role of the Media in Orienting Individual Identity. So this title does seem a little bit complex at the first look. So let's break it together. Here with media, I will refer throughout my speech to all kinds of media, not only traditional media such as TV or newspapers, but also TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, and everything we have else. With individual identity, I mean, it does mean who you are. It's your culture, your religion, your sect, even your fears, your likings, and your hopes. It's everything what defines you. So, let's go on. So, we will look at the question, how does the media, the news we read, the videos we watch on different platforms, and the posts we scroll through influence who we become? Because media is actually a very strong tool, and we need to be aware of that. So let's do a quick check. Be honest. Raise your hand if you've ever changed how you think after watching a video online, or if you've ever felt like your life isn't good enough compared to people you see on social media. I'm sure every one of us has experienced some kinds of these feelings. I can see hands here. So these small moments when we encounter media or social media actually matter, because we do not only consume media, actually media does also consume us in one matter, because it reflects, it shapes our languages, our opinions, and even our sense of belonging. So let's look at how it works. How does media actually influence our identity? I want to give one example from psychology. There is the term, maybe you have heard it, self-fulfilling prophecy. It means when you believe enough long about something, it actually becomes true at one point. Actually, in Turkey, we have a saying, a Turkish saying, that is very close to this understanding. When I translate it into English, literally it means if you say something 40 times, it becomes true. So I want to give you a very basic, very quick example. When the international media says the Middle East is unstable, what does this cause? It does cause governments to engage less with these countries. It does cause investors, for example, invest less in these countries. And then the result, what the media has said actually becomes true, because we have less investment, we have less engagement with the countries, and then the result, the Middle East really becomes stagnated. So let's bear this example in mind throughout our representation. So here we will look how it works. So the first tool that media uses to influence us and our identity is representation. It shows something in a manner that it wants it to be. So when you see an article, carefully look who is shown in the article, who is not shown in the article. When you read or see something, be critical and look who has it created, what is the aim of it. And the second method that media uses here is repetition. I think we are very aware of that, especially on social media. When you see something very often, one after the other, you are influenced by it. You get the opinion of the article. That's actually how influencers actually became so popular in our world. They show you something over and over, and after one time you think, yeah, that's true, or yeah, I do need to buy this product, because you see it so often. And the third way is the article of emotion. So when we read news articles, it does cause feelings in us. Sometimes it does cause hopelessness, sometimes it does cause fear or joy. So these are actually the main three articles that media uses here. To give an example, a powerful video about Palestine will make you feel maybe more connected to a larger cause, or a viral trend that you see on social media will make you feel like you need to catch up with something, or else you will be excluded. So media isn't just information, it's emotional education, we can say. So here in the third part of our speech, we will look at how being young in Iraq's media landscape in Kurdistan affects us, our identity and our emotions. We are feeling, especially in the Middle East, and as Muslims, I think, very often a double pressure. So internal, we have the pressure of our own values, our sects, religion, family. This may be everything that you get inside from your country. And from the outside, we are feeling external pressure. We are seeing stereotypes about the region, our country, and ourselves in global media. I think I can say very safely that global media, for example, portrays Iraq very negatively on the general scale. This is also the case for Turkey. And you feel with this landscape, your inner values and the external issues some kind of confliction that you need to fix. And now we will continue with a very similar, but again, a conflicting issue. It's about global and local identity. So global values will tell you to be free, to have fame, to consume, but local values are values like loyalty, like tradition and religion. So you see, media is not neutral. You have to choose between them, and very consciously. For example, how many times have you seen the words Baghdad, Erbil, or Mosul in international media, but also only in stories about conflict, never in something positive? How often do we see Kurdish, Yazidi, or Turkmen voices portrayed in full complexity as artists, scientists, or thinkers, not just as victims? Very rare, unfortunately. So here's the challenge. If the world's media won't tell your full story, you have to tell your own stories. Here I have one very simple example, again, where we can understand how the media, in one simple case, has the power to give different feelings to you and to shape your identity. So all these three news headlines are about the same issue. Can some of you maybe tell me which one is the negative title, which one is the positive title, and which one is the neutral title of it? Anyone maybe from here? Okay, I will continue. So when we say the Kurdistan regional government signs energy deals to support economic development, we have the case as it is, very neutral. But the same author or editor of the news article or TV station can also give this headline: Kurdistan's economic ambitions gain momentum with strategic energy partnerships. So this is a very positive and powerful title that make you feel hopeful about your region. But on the other hand, some news articles, which we will see very often in Western media, will give titles such as this: Kurdistan's energy deal sparks concerns over environmental impact and transparency. So I hope you can see here how different kinds of mediatic styles can affect how you think about the region, how you think about yourselves, and most importantly, how others view you, how you are viewed from other countries. So we have now identified the problem, and we will go on what you can do. You may think the media is very powerful. What can I do just as one person about that? Actually, you can do very much. I will give you three very simple tools that you can use. First of all, be critical. That we have mentioned before. When you see a news article, something on social media, question the content, question the intent. Why did this newspaper choose this content? Why did they choose this headline? Ask who did write this article? Is it some Western media? Is it some local media? To which political parties or stances are they close to? All these questions, answering all these questions, will help you navigate better through the media and social media landscape. And to open a parenthesis here, we are very often speaking about the negative impacts of artificial intelligence, but as someone who has started to use AI, I think you can also use it in a positive manner, especially in these cases. You can give the news article to artificial intelligence and ask them, is this article true? Who did write this article? is it disinformation or is it real? So you can use AI actually as a very powerful tool here. And another thing I think that is very important is to share your own voices. You don't need to be a journalist to do this. Yes, being a journalist is very powerful because you have your company behind you, you have all the tools, you have your audience, but even a simple tweet that you will write or a video that you will share on TikTok will make people hear your story and your perspective better. And again, linked to this is, I think, supporting local creators and other people, local media that are doing this job. So telling your own narrative is very important here. So coming to the final part, to catch it up, the media, as we have said, is very, very powerful, but so are you. You are more than your profile on Instagram or just an algorithm on the internet, on the web. So let me conclude here saying that media will try to define you, but only you get to decide who you are. I believe that Iraqi and Kurdish youth, with your strength, creativity, and history, can be leaders in building your own narratives and in sharing your own stories. So ask questions, stay awake, and be very critical of what you read and what you see, actually, on traditional and social media. So thank you all for listening to me. I hope that I could convey you a little bit of what our topic was and how it really affects our daily lives and our daily discourse. So if you have any questions, I will try to answer them as best as I can now. Yes, please. Do we have a microphone? Yes, please. It's coming.
So I want to say a very warm welcome to you, me as a participant, and in the name of all the participants, we're really happy to have you here as a journalist.
Thank you.
So one of my questions is, if we review back the media impact on people's thinking in the last 10 years, we can say it's changed even 180 degrees.
Yes.
And I have an opinion on media, which is media can hide like the biggest massacres in the world. So you said if the world or if the media can't say your story, you can say your story. So I'm not agreeing with that because like in Gaza, right now, Israeli government and Netanyahu, they're creating a story for them. Yeah. Like if we watch the European population, they're not believing that Gaza or Netanyahu is massacring in Gaza because the media in there, they're hiding it all, I think. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for your question and comment. I think that you have pointed to a very critical example which shows actually how powerful media is and how powerful the narratives are. As our friend here mentioned, the Western media has engaged in very intense propaganda since the Gaza war began. They have given their own narrative saying that the Palestinians or Hamas are the evil ones here, and that Israel is very innocent, and that they are very rightful in their campaign that they are ongoing in Gaza. So we see here how media really shapes our understanding of it, especially people in the West are very much influenced by this. But still, we have seen over the almost 2 years that the Gaza war has been ongoing that the narrative has changed little by little, although not completely. We have been seeing that many Western countries, for example, have started to recognize Palestine and their rights. We have seen that the stories from the Gazan people inside the region are coming to the surface, even if they control the traditional media and very powerful news stations. We still see the videos of people, innocent people, civilians being attacked. So those people that are filming this or that are writing about this on Twitter actually do have an impact. It's small, but they do lead to changes, actually. So we need to be aware of it. If there were no one to film how civilians have been killed or journalists in Gaza, then we would only rely on the Western media. So even if the impact is small, I think we need to continue to raise our voice in such cases. Thank you. Any other question? Look. Yes, here. The lady.
First of all, I hope you're welcome. I have a question. How do we can telling our story and showing our idea in social media or in any newspaper can affect other people's identity and how the way they are thinking. Like we can see everywhere there are many people that think those genocides that happen in Gaza right now is their right and they deserve that. And how we can affect other people's idea and identity to change it to the better way.
Thank you for your question. I think there are actually many ways to do this, but you have to find your own path and what you are strong in. For example, some people have been using TikTok now very frequently, not only to make very basic videos, but there are also accounts that are telling the stories of the day or what they have experienced in a certain place. So we can say that I think especially Twitter in this case is very effective, but also now other platforms, the new social platforms, are being used very intensely by especially the young people. So wherever it is, I think it's the small steps that matter. So you have to raise your voice in any platform that you are very close with. And you have organizations such as this one. So you are here for a cause. You are here to learn something, and hopefully all of you will be in a few years in very important positions. So from there, wherever you are, whether it is in Iraq and Kurdistan, whether you are in the European Union or the United States, there you will continue to share your stories. In universities, there are many platforms, local newspapers that you can use, that you can write on. There are blogs that you can write on. All of these will be discovered by you through time. And just use, I think, every platform that you have the power to use to raise your voice and your stories and our region's stories. Thank you. One more lady.
Hello, Ms. Dilan. Thank you for coming here. And I have a question. As we know that media right now is not people, even all the country give a free outstanding for the media, and that affect like all the young, even not the youngs, like the old peoples around us. Like when you look at the TikTok, like Instagram, or like any applications, you can see like how much the youngest and also the oldest people in each country, like they lose their identity. Even when you think sometimes maybe people say, oh, they are young, they use identity, that's okay. But what about the old people? Like they are losing their identity too. So what do you think? In your opinion, don't you feel like if we become closer to our culture, maybe that will be another reason for solving this like massive act. I don't know even how can we explain this thing that has happened to young and old people. But if we become closer to our culture, don't you feel like we can solve this thing?
Thank you for your question. So what you are referring to, we can call it very simply the phenomenon of globalization that we are facing, that is increasing by the day. Everyone is using the same social platforms. Everyone is using the same brands, the same mottos even, and the same thinking, the same clothes overall the globe. And this has brought together many problems. So when you open Netflix, for example, you see how they try to incorporate other elements that are actually not normal for our region, for example, or for other regions as well. So what they try to do is establish a global youth and a globalized community, actually. But this is not very healthy because all of us were raised with some codes, with some traditional codes, with some cultural codes. So here, what is important is that you need to balance both of that. Yes, globalization has its own advantages. You can learn much from a globalized social world and real world also. But there are the values that we also have in our own culture that are very important, that we need to preserve. So you need to choose what you can get advantageously from the international sphere, from the global sphere, and also preserve your own local cultural identities that are very important, that you believe need to continue, that you have to preserve them. And you need to find the balance between the two, because if you're just on one side, you will have problems in other countries or on social international platforms. So while preserving your own culture, which is very important, you need to get the balance between the two. This will give you the identity that will be most powerful. Thank you. So we don't have time anymore, sorry. You can find me maybe at the end of the program and ask questions. So I thank you all for listening to me.